Welcome back to The Haunted Beard, everybody. My name is Jake. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to give you my thoughts and review for the French film Anatomy of a Fall. This actually won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival last year in 2023, and this is a courtroom legal mystery thriller that tells the story of a woman who is suspected of her husband's murder and their blind son who faces a moral dilemma as the main witness. An Anatomy of a Fall is a captivating mystery movie that I thoroughly enjoyed every single moment of it from start to finish. This is a bit of a longer movie, 2.5 hours, but there is not a dull moment to be had here. I was just totally captivated from beginning to end. The film opens up, we're introduced to our main protagonist, Sandra, who is a wife and mother. And we also learn that she's a writer. She's doing this interview with this college student. Shortly after this, their younger son, Daniel, is returning back to the house after having gone out on a walk with the dog, and he discovers the husband's dead body laying on the ground right in front of the house. And we don't know what happened. And it's that question of how did Samuel, the father, die that sets up the main mystery of this film. And based on an initial investigation, the police gather some evidence, and ultimately, Sandra ends up getting indicted and is being charged with the murder of her husband. And I really love the approach that director Justine Triet takes with the movie. Not only is she the director, she's also the writer. And all I can say is, wow. What an incredible writer, as she just constructs such a well-layered and detailed mystery that, again, I just found totally captivating. But I love just her approach to it and her presentation to the film. This is a very realistic and grounded approach. And it's a movie that it moves a little bit slower. It takes its time. But as I said, there is not a dull moment. It feels that even in the entire 2.5 hours, every single scene is important and necessary and is contributing to either building the story and developing the story or building and developing the characters. And so every single scene in the movie just feels totally necessary and important. And there are just many conversations that they feel so real and authentic that you kind of just feel like a fly on the wall observing these people just having these conversations. And everything just kind of feels so real. And I just really like that approach to the film. The film also makes some really good decisions in what it doesn't do. And there is no musical score in this entire movie whatsoever. And I also really like that approach as well, because the movie doesn't try to be overly dramatic or overly emotional. It doesn't try to tell you how to feel or suggest things with the music, as you know, sometimes you can feel like the music is a bit manipulative and trying to lead you one way or the other, to where it totally cuts that completely out of the film. And it really just gives off this very sort of unbiased, objective sort of presentation. I also really like that the film is devoid of flashbacks, with technically 2 exceptions. And typically, I'm not a fan of flashbacks, and especially when it comes to mysteries, because it feels like such a cheap way to kind of give a reveal or give you some information. But Anatomy of a Fall handles flashbacks absolutely perfectly. This is how you do it. And there are technically 2 flashback scenes, but just the way that they are written into the story, I thought was just perfect. One of the flashback scenes in particular involves a piece of evidence that is revealed in court. That happens to be an audio recording discovered on a USB drive. And they play that audio recording in the court, and so we briefly flash back to the conversation between Sandra and her husband a couple days before he dies, and it gives us a little more insight and context into their relationship. One of the things, too, that I think the film does really well is that it holds back information regarding their relationship, regarding the character of Samuel as well, to where when he dies, you've never seen him, you've never met him, you have no idea what type of person or character he is, you have no idea the context of his relationship with Sandra, his relationship with Daniel, the son. And so it's just kind of this blank slate to where you're really not sure at all what to think or what to believe about him until the film just sort of kind of slowly peels back some things. And where I think Anatomy of a Fall really elevates itself above many other mystery films is that this is a bit of an examination on the nature of truth itself. And the way those themes and ideas are woven into the story, man, I was just absolutely hooked again for every minute of this entire movie. It's captivating, it's riveting, it's thought-provoking. It just gets into the complexities of truth when you're given this presentation in a court and how difficult it can be to arrive at what really happened. And because everything is built on people's understanding and interpretations of it. And it also, too, like I said, it looks at relationships and how it's so easy to take one moment of a relationship and put it under a microscope and sort of twist and manipulate things to weave this narrative and weave this story that isn't necessarily true. And so the film just does such a great job really bringing balance back and forth to where you can see the arguments on one side, you can see the arguments on the other side. You can see the case for why she may have killed her husband. You can also see the case for why the husband may have killed himself. And so I love the balance there. It's so engaging and so thought-provoking. There's a scene earlier on when Sandra is first meeting with her lawyer, who happens to be an old friend of hers. And they start having a conversation, talking about the case. And she just kind of out of the blue says, "I didn't kill him." And then the lawyer simply responds, "That's not the point."
I did not kill him.
That's not the point.
Those two lines kind of perfectly summarize what Anatomy of a Fall is really about. And it's not really about the truth when it comes to the courtroom. It's about who can tell the best story, who can tell the most believable story. And so, again, there's a lot there to really chew on. Man, I thought this was an absolutely fantastic film. I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's one of the very best of the year of 2023 anyways. And so if this at all sounds interesting to you, if you are a fan of, legal thrillers, especially mysteries, this is a must watch as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Again, it's absolutely captivating. I loved it. I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10 with even potential of going higher. I can't wait to watch it again. But yeah, I was thoroughly impressed by this. I can't wait to see what the director, Justine Triet, does next. I hope she kind of stays in the mystery thriller genre because, man, she is incredibly talented. So those are my thoughts. If you've seen this, let me know your thoughts down below. Would love to hear from you. If you haven't, man, go watch it. It is awesome. So again, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you next time on The Haunted Beard.